Hello, everybody. This is Sunday. It's September 5th, and we are headed into week 2 of our online astronomy course. Hope you've had a good week. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. On the 7th, that is Tuesday, it's going to be a new moon. That means the skies are going to be very dark, and that's a great time to go out and see the Milky Way. And you can see the Milky Way here over my shoulder. If I just move aside, there is the Milky Way shoulder. There's the Milky Way galaxy right over my shoulders. So I hope you go out and you get to see that. But we are headed into Module 2. And first I want to tell you about some astronomy news that there's been this week. Really cool. And that is that astronomers have seen a star actually swallow a black hole. And then that star exploded as a supernova. This is a new phenomenon. It's never been seen before, and it's really exciting for astronomers. Now, you'll be learning more about supernovae in the modules to come. But right now, we are headed into Module 2. And Module 2 will start out learning about the history of astronomy. And we'll learn how the ancient Greeks were among the first people to study the stars. And if you can imagine it, in ancient Greek times, they didn't have electric lights, they didn't have their cities lit up at night. They lived in a world lit only by fire. And so every night they would go out and they would see what you see behind me. They would see the stars and they would see the Milky Way. What a marvelous sight that would have been. And they studied it, and they noticed that the star patterns never seemed to change. The same constellations, the stars in those constellations didn't move relative to one another. Yes, over the course of a year, some constellations appeared in the sky while others disappeared. Like Orion is a winter constellation, and Sagittarius is a summer constellation. But the star patterns themselves didn't change, except for 5 objects. And those 5 objects seem to wander around the sky. And in fact, they named them a Greek word that was their Greek word for wanderer, and that is planet. And so they knew about Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And those 5 objects would just wander around the sky. Now, what does that mean? Well, just imagine that you're looking at the sky like the sky you see behind me, and those stars, those 5 planets, would move across the sky through the stars, through the background stars from night to night. Now, if you're looking south, remember that if you look to your left, you're looking east. And if you're looking right, then you're looking west. So the stars would start out in the eastern sky, say here, and then they would move slowly from night to night a little bit more. They would start in the west, I want to say. They're over here in the west. And then they move a little bit more every night eastward. From night to night, they would move from here to there, to there, to there, and so on. But sometimes those stars would move from here to here, to here, to here, and then they would back up. They would go down to here, and then they'd move backwards. They'd move westward again from night to night. And then they would move eastward again. And that backward motion where they move backwards like this is called retrograde motion. And retrograde motion drove the Greeks just crazy trying to understand it, because they believed that everything moved in circles. They believed in a geocentric, Earth-centered solar system, and they believed that everything moved in circles around Earth. So how can you get circular motion out of this strange motion that they saw with the stars going eastward and then westward and then eastward again. How did that work? They came up with a very clever idea of circles rotating and carried around on larger circles. And that's how they explain retrograde motion. And you'll read all about this system that was perfected by an astronomer named Ptolemy. It was completely wrong, just completely wrong, but it lasted for about 1,500 years. And then you'll learn about how a man named Copernicus displaced the Earth from the center of the solar system and said, no, really the sun is at the center. And you'll learn how another man named Johannes Kepler figured out how the planets really move around the sun, not in circles, but in ellipses. It's a great story, and I think you'll enjoy learning about it. Now, in this module, on the homework quizzes, there is a bit of math. And so I want to show you how you can use a calculator to more easily enter scientific notation. So let me go on back to my screen sharing here, and I'll be going back to the black hole swallowing a star just for a second, but I'm going to go over to this scientific calculator. You know, Desmos, I found out, really isn't very good at handling scientific notation. But this calculator online does a great job. I've even created a little video saying exactly how to use it. And that's on the course homepage. But here it is. It's called eCalc. And you can set it for scientific notation. And then you can use that very easily to do your scientific notation problems. Also in this homework, you'll have to do a square root. And if I wanted to do the square root of, say, 89, I just hit the square root button, put in 89, close the parentheses, and the equal sign, and there's my answer, 9.434. So it's really easy to do square roots on this calculator too. And that'll allow you to do everything you have to do for your homework on this module. Now, finally, I want to show you what's in the sky this week. And we'll take a look. So I'll pull up Stellarium here. Here we go, here's Stellarium. And there is a really pretty sight, and that is on the 9th. So that's going to be on Thursday night. And that is the moon is going to be just above and to the west of Venus. Now, remember, the 7th is the new moon. And so this moon is going to be just a bare crescent moon. And so I'm going to zoom in on this. So I'll move it to the center of the screen and zoom in on it. And you can see that little crescent moon right up there above Venus. It's going to be very pretty. And so if you go out on Thursday, and this is around 8:15 or so, pretty close, right after sunset, the sky's still going to be a bit light, but you'll see the little crescent moon and Venus there. Also, that same night, if you want to, you can look a little bit more to the east. And if you look a little bit more to the east, here's south, and here's to the east, you'll see Jupiter right there and Saturn right there. So some cool stuff to see in the sky. Remember your first two homeworks for modules 1 and 2, the homework quizzes, are due on Monday the 13th. So no homework due this coming to Monday, meaning tomorrow, but your first 2 homework modules are due on the 13th, and that's to give your books time to get in. So I hope you enjoy learning about this. It's wonderful, fascinating stuff, and have a good week. and I will see you next week. So until then, bye-bye.